Welcome back, movie fans. We have arrived at the penultimate review from the Venice Film Festival, and today we are discussing Dreamin Wild, which tells the true story of the Emerson brothers and the tumultuous story of their family after the success of their self-recorded pop-funk album happily named Dreamin Wild, which went largely unnoticed until it was rediscovered and reappraised decades later, giving Donnie, played by Casey Affleck, a second shot at realizing his dream and paying back the family that supported him all along the way. Now, I went into Dreamin Wild rather blind. I just knew it starred Casey Affleck. I had no idea it was a biopic. I never heard of the Emerson brothers, and I didn't know how much of a star-studded cast this movie had, nor that it crossed generations and was based on a real article and all that. I didn't know anything about this film, essentially. And while I will tell you that Dreamin Wild does not reinvent the wheel whatsoever when it comes to musical biopics or even movies about music, which is essentially what this is, it is a nice little compelling enough drama with very humble aspirations that strives to tell a compelling story about a struggling family and puts the musical aspirations and the big dreams and the failures into the back to fester the drama that unfolds. And before I dive any deeper into my thoughts on the story of the Emerson brothers, I need to know what you make of it in the comments below. Were you a fan of the Emerson brothers before this film? Did you know about the article the film is based on? Anything and everything down there. And if you're enjoying this review, if you're enjoying my Venice Film Festival coverage, or if you just love movies and TV, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. My favorite aspect of Dreamin Wild is easily when it focuses in on the relationship between the two brothers Donnie, played by Casey Affleck, and Joe, played by Walton Goggins, as it goes back and forth through the years to see how they came together with this dream of having a music career and eventually how they fell apart because of following through this dream. And the casting is absolutely spot on. Not only is Casey Affleck fantastic as this tormented, failed artist who never gave up on his dreams, and yet they took so much of a toll on him, and young Donnie is played by a consistently impressive Noah Jupe, who might just give my favorite performance of the entire film, alongside young Joe, played by Dylan Grazer. The two just have tremendous chemistry on screen. They're just lovable and charming as these kids from a small town with big dreams. Everyone just naturally wants to root for an underdog. That's exactly what they are. But the casting that really surprised me is adult Joe, played by Walton Goggins. And I never thought about this. I bet you didn't either. But Walton Goggins and Dylan Grazer playing the same character is pitch perfect casting. It works so well. It is so believable. And Joe has his own demons that he's dealing with. And unfortunately, the film doesn't dive too deep into them. The characterization for the individual character feels way too thin, unfortunately. The film has some highlight moments, particularly in the second act. There's a section that sort of turns into a documentary-style film, and that's when the film excelled for me. That's when the film raised the bar for itself, and now it was telling this story. And I just wish the rest of the film had been like that, because it truly captured the chaotic fractured relationship of these two brothers. As it moves through the years, as it keeps going back and forth, I wish they had given some more pizzazz and style to the visual identity of this film, as it starts very stable, very mundane, very natural looking film, and through the years we could have inserted more and more of that documentary style, which fits the narrative of the film. These brothers are rediscovered by someone who fell in love with their album. They spread it on an online magazine. It's going viral on the internet as the film happens in 2011. They want to bring in journalists from the New York Post. They want to give them a show, and that would have just fit this film so well and would have made it stand out from the pack so much more, even allowing the performances to feel more naturalistic and compelling, diving deeper into the characterizations and character relations. Because when it comes to all the resolutions and the emotional climax of the film, this really works. There's a beautiful scene between father and son that just captures everything that these characters are struggling with through the film, and Beau Bridges delivers a very underrated performance that I'm sure no one will talk about. But in general, the film just plays it way too by the numbers, where you feel enough for these people as fellow human beings who struggle financially, who want to pursue a dream, who have big aspirations of life. It has this really nice message of family that, when it's focused on that, the film works, but everything else just feels so familiar. And while I love my musical biopics, I need to actually like the music. And that was not the case here. Maybe it's just not my style of music. There's also a choice near the end of the film that completely took me out of the experience. And the film just never feels like it dives any deeper into these characters. Apart from the one section that feels, looks, moves like a documentary, I felt like these characters exploded while there wasn't enough buildup of tension throughout the film. It feels like it's going too much by the motions without earning any of the emotion that it eventually wants to pay off this movie with. Up until it hits the emotional crescendo, Dreamin Wild plays it way too safe and conventionally as a standard music biopic, with characters that are compelling, but the characterizations feel way too thin and barely explored on a surface level. I'm giving Dreamin Wild a C. And that's my take on Dreamin Wild. Let me know what you make of it in the comments below, whether you're a big Emerson Brothers fan or not, anything and everything down there. There is one more Venice Film Festival review to come, so I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and big shout out to my channel members for always supporting the channel. Be back very soon, so until the next one, love each other and love the movies.